white privilege was a key determining factor in the election. That's what it is. Oh, no, Patricia. No, it was the price of eggs. Well, maybe Joe Biden needs to do some shit. What if he jailed Donald Trump for, I don't know, January 6th? I'm just saying.
The liberal media has exposed themselves as the giant hypocrites that they are. The same people who were losing their minds over Trump's January 6th charges being dropped as some attack on law and order are now defending and praising Joe Biden for pardoning his son. We have the ladies of The View openly admitting that they don't care that Joe Biden lied about not pardoning his son, and going as far as saying that even though Joe Biden said he wasn't going to pardon his son, it doesn't make him a liar. Leave a comment and guess which host said that. But probably the worst take of them all was Don Lemon openly supporting Joe Biden using lawfare against Donald Trump even further and jailing him for January 6th. Watch.
Joe Biden is 100% right. And you know who said the same thing about selective prosecution? Was Donald Trump. So that's why I said, what's good for the Donald is good for the hunter. So if you're going to talk about selective prosecution and you're going to talk about lawfare, okay. That's why I said Joe Biden should use it too. And also, this whole idea about a president having complete immunity, well, maybe Joe Biden needs to do some shit before he leaves. Because if he would just be immune, what if he jailed Donald Trump for, I don't know, January 6th? I'm just saying.
Like, this dude is insane and radical. Like, he's even starting to look weird as he's getting more ridiculous and deranged with his commentaries. To openly support politically motivated lawfare is un-American and, yes, fascist. It's just so ironic to me that the side that was calling Republicans fascists with a straight face are now supporting politically motivated lawfare against your political opponents. I don't ever want to hear another Democrat talk about how they're the side of good, how they're morally superior, how they respect the rule of law, how they care about the institutions of the country. And what's crazy is, here's Don Lemon a week ago talking about Trump's charges being dropped and saying how, oh, it's such a bad thing, Trump's above the law, the rule of law needs to be preserved, the rule of law matters, he cares about the rule of law. And then he comes out and says this. Watch.
I guess it is. I guess some people are just above the law. I guess some people are just above the law. And what I mean by that is I mean that Donald Trump is above the law because as it turns out, not all Americans are equal under the eyes of the law. Some people, or rather one person in particular, is above it. Now, I wonder what that means for Joe Biden. What could he do? What could he do in his last couple of months or weeks in office? Interesting. I believe in integrity. I believe in the separation of church and state. And I believe that the rules should be the same for all. No one should be above the law. And that is my message to you today. No one should be above the law. Elections have consequences, and this is what people voted for. Now, I believe that right now, this will work for Donald Trump and the MAGA folks, but once they're out of office, wait until someone they don't like is in office and they start using the same rules that the Republicans, that they acted upon, that they capitalized on to keep Donald Trump from facing prosecution, from facing justice. Okay?
I mean, it just proves these people have no morals, no principles, no values. They're anti-American. They just want to hold on to their power, and they'll say or do whatever it takes in order for that to happen. Joe Biden pardoning his son is a direct spit in the face to every single American out there and says to them, there is a different standard for me and my family than there is for you. And that has to be such an insult to all the Democrats whose media outlets told them every day how dangerous and how bad of a guy Trump was just for Joe Biden to come out and do this. They can no longer hang their hat on the false idea that they're the great guys who respect the institutions and the rule of law, and Trump is this dangerous bad man who's trying to dismantle everything and has no respect for our institutions. Now, here's Don Lemon trying to make excuses for Biden, basically saying he's doing what any father would do. You can't blame him. You do the same thing. Watch.
Joe Biden was not about to lose another child, especially to Donald Trump. It just wasn't going to happen. And I don't blame him. And you know what? You would have done the same thing too. As a parent, you would have done the same thing too. Don't get it twisted, and you know you would have. So don't tell me, do not go like, it's just so wrong. Man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. This is not about politics.
People knew that Joe Biden was corrupt and used his political positions, basically his entire career, to benefit his family. And this is just the last final double middle finger to the world, letting them know that they were absolutely right. Like, yeah, I guess any parent would pardon their child, but the fact that he had to lie about it for over a year means that there's an obvious stigma around using your power for that kind of benefit. That's why he had to lie about it instead of just coming out and saying truthfully that he was going to pardon him the whole time, because he knew Americans would feel some type of way about that, and it wouldn't have helped the Democrats' messaging that Donald Trump is the existential threat and the Democrats are the good saviors. Now, before we get into the ladies of The View saying that just because Joe Biden said he wasn't going to pardon his son and then did pardon his son, that doesn't make him a liar, reacting to Don Lemon wouldn't be complete if there wasn't an outrageously racist take in there. And of course, it's Don Lemon, so there is. Watch.
Everyone's trying to explain to people what white privilege is, right? Donald Trump is a whole white privilege wrapped up in a big, ugly blue suit with a big, fat, funky red tie that goes to it. He is a whole, if you open the dictionary to white privilege, Donald Trump's picture is in there. White privilege was a key determining factor in the election. That's what it is. Oh, no, Patricia. No, it was the price of eggs. Give me a break. The price of no damn eggs. Patricia, you're right.
Doubling back on the whole, the election was about racism and sexism thing. I mean, the condescending, elitist, snarky tone from this guy saying that, oh, it couldn't possibly be about the cost of eggs. Yeah, because you're a multi-millionaire. I mean, just look out of his window in his high-rise penthouse in New York City. Of course he can't believe that the election had to do with the cost of groceries. I mean, with Joe Biden pardoning his son and revealing to the entire American public that the Republican boogeyman does not exist, it's actually the Democrats, and on top of Kamala blowing $2 billion and ending up in debt, and on top of them maintaining this elitist attitude, I think the Democrat Party is in a big, big hole that they are not going to get out of for a long time. Now, here's Sonny Hostin with the most brainless, low IQ take on Joe Biden pardoning his son. It's as bad as you'd expect. Watch.
This is why people don't trust Washington. That's why they don't trust politicians. And I know a lot of us like Joe Biden, but I find it disappointing and bad for our institutions.
Well, look, I think sometimes, unfortunately, in this country, there are two sets of justice, right? I, too, have many family members convicted of felonies, marijuana, related to marijuana. They haven't been able to get positions in certain places. They haven't even been able to get housing in certain places. When I applied to be a federal prosecutor, there was a checkbox. If you're a felon, explain the circumstances, and you were more than likely not to get that. Now, as Whoopi said, that we have a convicted felon in the White House. Those questions should not be asked of anyone, anytime, anywhere. That is the bottom line. The only reason that Hunter Biden was gone after and charged, indicted, and found guilty was because his name wasn't Joe Smith, it was Hunter Biden. And that's the truth of it.
And they always have the super intellectually dishonest opinion that, well, since a felon became president, no job anywhere should ever require anybody to disclose that they're a felon, as if all felonies are created equally. And Sonny, being a self-proclaimed prosecutor, ought to know this. Now, Alyssa asks the panel, yeah, but why did he lie about it? Why wasn't he just honest with the American people? And this is where one of the hosts on The View says that just because he said he wasn't going to pardon his son and then did, doesn't make him a liar. Let's see if you guys guessed right.
But I wanted to understand why lie about it for so long.
I would stop calling it a lie.
Okay, why repeatedly say you're not going to and you do? And secondarily, for the part of this country, half of it that doesn't support Biden, doesn't know him personally, doesn't get to have phone calls, and they're just looking at a system that seems like it only benefits the people who are in power.
I'm going to say,
what precedent does that set?
Well,
I don't know about you guys, but what I just heard was a grown woman, let me not assume her gender, saying that Joe Biden telling the American public over and over and over again he was not going to pardon his son, he was going to respect the jury's decision, he was going to respect the rule of law, and then he did the complete opposite of that, is somehow not lying. These are the people who try to claim moral high ground over us, try to claim that they're the ones about integrity and honesty and decency and grace, and then have the gall to tell us that it's okay that a president pardoned his own son because he didn't like the circumstances of the case, and then tell us that he didn't actually lie about it when he said he wouldn't do it. I mean, these people are propagandists. They're authoritarians who believe there's one set of rules for them and one set of rules for everybody else. And that mindset is infected throughout their entire base. Joe Biden just represents the mindset and the culture of the entire Democrat Party. Now, Scott Jennings of CNN was not holding back today on the Hunter Biden news. Here he is destroying somebody on the panel who had the nerve to praise and defend what Joe Biden was doing, of course, but also echo the same thing Whoopi said, that Joe Biden didn't lie. The circumstances just changed. Watch.
There are Democrats saying they're not happy that President Biden made this decision.
Yeah, well, tough. The president went ahead and did what he thought was right for him and to protect his son.
Joe Biden is leaving office making the strongest possible case for Donald Trump that anybody could possibly make it, and that's that our government and our justice system is of, by, and for the elites and nobody else. He ran to banish Trumpism from our political system in this country, and he has left it politically and now institutionally the strongest possible political force in this country. It is a complete and utter failure by the head of the Democratic Party and the President of the United States. Never again do I want to hear, oh, Donald Trump's a liar. You can't believe anything he says. Donald Trump will abuse his power. Donald Trump will only use the system to benefit himself and his family and so on and so forth. Never again. I have one question for Karen, and that is, why did he need an 11-year blanket pardon going back to 2014 when Joe Biden was the vice president? We are sitting on the biggest cover-up of who knows what crimes, and Joe Biden amazingly knows exactly, roughly, when it started. He knows just about when it all started. He's leaving office in complete and total disgrace. He is a liar, and there is no other way to spin this today. This has nothing to do with Trump and everything to do with the character of Joe Biden.
And I agree with him entirely. This move by Joe Biden showed the American people that he is the epitome, he is the dictionary definition of what people hate about politicians. They say one thing, they do another. They tell you to live one kind of way, they live another.
You guys can spend all day long trying to spin this, that this is Donald Trump's fault, that this is somehow caused by Donald Trump. Oh, he's appointing the wrong people. Oh, he did it. Oh, this is the worst possible thing a president could possibly do to his party and to the country, to sit for a year and say, I will not do this. I will not do this. The rule of law is sacred. We have to respect the justice system. Juries, we have to respect juries. We have to respect the guardrails and the norms of our democracy. These people are liars. Inflation, it's transitory. Afghanistan, it's a success. The border is secure. Robert Hur is a liar. The videos are cheap fakes. Biden has a cold. He'll never drop out. Oh, I'll never pardon Hunter. It's all a lie. It is all a grift. Every American, except the most partisan, brain-rotted people, are going to be outraged by this today. He is going to leave off. You think 38, 39% job approval is bad? Just you wait. Just you wait. He's disgraced
don't-
today. Outrageous.
You
Are you
Karen?
fine with the lying? Are you
I say
fine
good
with
for
him
Joe
sitting
Biden.
before the election all year and lying to the American people? Are you fine with the lying about it?
I don't think that he was lying. I think he made a decision after the fact and decided this was the right thing for him and for his family.
And the fact that he gave his son a blanket pardon, covering anything from 2014 to now, not just the 2 crimes that he was convicted of, proves that Joe Biden knows his son was doing illegal things at the behest of Joe Biden to benefit the Biden family. We've all known it, and we all knew that Joe Biden put the interest of himself and his family above his duties to the American public, but this was his way of showing it publicly, proudly, and with no shame on his way out. A giant rug pull to the entire country, and it is shameful, and everybody, like Scott Jennings said, who isn't just completely brain-rotted, propagandized to their party, should be upset about this. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Make sure you like this video if you have not already. I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on those notification bells so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.